thanks for joining us for another episode of Topkat Studios Sessions. My name is Rebecca Delatorre, and I'm excited to present to you one of my colleagues, Dan Francis, and his band, the Dan Francis Band.
Hello.
Thanks so much for being on the show, guys.
My pleasure. We've been trying to do it for such a long time. It's so good to actually finally be able to have time.
It's been like 9 months since you've been trying to get him on the show, so it's so good to have you here.
I know, I'm so busy. So, yeah, it's wonderful.
It's been a schedule coordination issue.
Yeah.
So what song do you want to start with?
So I want to start with Sing. I know it's interesting. It's a song about singing that says sing. So it's kind of the wrong tense, but the story behind it was I wanted to write a great sort of a first opening song for a concert, something with a lot of high energy. I was able to do that, and it's a lot of fun to play. It's a lot of fun to sing.
Sounds great.
Lord, where you go, we'll go with open arms so the world will know we are the army of the King. It's for His fame we will sing. The church has come alive. She's radiant, your bride. In a thunderous praise of a people unafraid, the worshipers arise. To God we lift our cries. Lord, we will sing. Let the battle anthem rise. Praise to rend the skies. Lord, we will sing. Lord, where you go, we will go with open arms so the world will know we are the army of the King. It's for His fame we will sing. The church has come alive. She's radiant, your bride. Our cries, Lord, we will. Let the battle anthem rise, praise to rend the skies. Lord, we will sing. We will sing. We will sing.
I think you accomplished your purpose.
I think so. That's definitely like the beginning of church, like the one that definitely... So coffee's good in the morning, but a really, really, really good song is great too, and so we've had a lot of fun with this over the past year or so that we've been playing it.
That's great. Awesome. Thanks for letting me join you on that too. That's a lot of fun.
My pleasure. You are more than qualified.
Thank you. This is great. This whole thing sounds amazing. I love the Hammond, and I've always loved piano and organ. I grew up in a Southern Baptist church, and we had both for like
Glory
every
to
song,
God.
right?
Yes.
And hearing the two together, it sounds so cool and good. And how long have you been playing?
I kind of started my interest in music from a very young age. I started playing guitar when I was 15.
Oh, okay.
I think I had been bugging my parents for the longest time to get me an instrument, and I'm the youngest of 7 kids, and so I think maybe they felt like they had bought all of their expensive Christmas presents, although I got some other stuff, and finally, after all that time, I think I wore them down enough to where, I got a really awesome red electric guitar Christmas of 1995. So.
Oh wow, cool, very cool. So that was your first instrument. Were you singing before then, or were you involved in music at all?
Yeah, I come from a very musical family. My mom, aunts and uncles, and everything, and I was always the tag along for, anytime the family sang in choir at church, if there was a funeral. Something like that, which is an interesting thing to do at a very young age. I think that the first thing I did is when as far as being a cantor, if you know what that is, it's a fancy word for soloist in a church. For my grandmother's funeral, I did the responsorial psalm, and that was a really, really, really heavy thing to do. So it's interesting that for me, even through that tragedy, that music was really in my blood, and church music was really more so, what that was. It was an amazing experience, and I never let up after that.
How old were you when you sang
I was 13.
The psalm is a pretty long solo, actually. You were 13 for your grandmother's funeral. I was a puddle when my grandma died. She died when I was 10, the first one that passed. I was a mess. That's amazing that you were able to hold yourself together.
Well, I had some great instruction from my family. Again, a long line of musicians, a lot of really amazing singers, a lot of people who are still singing all over the country and
Nice.
in churches and things like that. So it's kind of what we do. Police work and church music. It's a really, really interesting dichotomy.
Okay, that's cool.
You can tell which side I went to. So,
Yes, that's good. They're both important. Yeah. Well, what's the next song y'all want to do?
So we're going to do The Walls, which is the title track. And The Walls is one of 2 songs that I co-wrote with my really good friend Matt Maher. This one and then one we're going to play after this.
Cool.
And this song and the song following it, it's going to be called No Other Name, actually started out as one song. It was a really, really interesting thing. Matt and I gathered to write a few years ago. And it was one song, and then I kind of had one of these eureka moments. I'm like, man, oh man, like this, it sounds like it's working, but I think, 2's better than 1. So,
yeah, of course.
And of course, it ended up being on, both being recorded on my first national release.
Yes, exactly, this is the title song.
Yep, The Walls.
The Walls. Cool.
Break the fortresses, you break the Jerichos, the walls around our hearts. You free the prisoners, we dance on broken chains, redeemed and set apart, redeemed and set apart. We go in the sound of heaven come down, our hearts cry out. Let the walls come down, let the walls come down. Let them crumble at the sound of your name. Let the walls come down. Let the walls come down. Let them crumble at the sound of your name. Proclaiming it is done. Not one stone left on one. The veil was torn apart. Glory no other name by which I am saved but Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Sound of your name, Jesus.
That is so great. I love that song. Thank you. I hope that I'm adding to it and not taking away here.
Absolutely. You know, so usually, like, I've relegated poor Adam to the Hammond organ there, and it's good to occasionally have a piano in, which we do once in a while. It's very, very nice for tonight, I think. I think we would all agree.
Yeah, it sounded really good. Cool. So you mentioned that you wrote this. This was one you co-wrote with Matt Maher.
That's correct. Yeah. So, you know, for many years, you know, Matt is in Nashville now, but you know, lived 20 plus years here in the Valley, and it's really interesting when I was a young country mouse who moved to the city from Massachusetts in 2006, and happy Arizonaversary, Arizona. It's been 10 years now.
Nice.
You know, I never really expected to be like one of the first people I was going to meet. And like a dude that would like invite me over for breakfast burritos to his house, like, was gonna be Matt Maher, which is like somebody as a younger dude who I still do, but admire very much. So that was a very interesting thing. Like, oh, so you're like a regular dude, and we're, you know, we can hang out and things like that. And so for me, as a young, just bewildered, you know, new person to Phoenix and a fan of Catholic music and Christian music in general, that was kind of an interesting thing. And so, but we were just friends. We would hang out. You know, we'd watch the Suns game. We were all super into it one time. A bunch of us were into The Office and Lost and 24, and there was a whole bunch of shows that we would all gather throughout the week, whatever night, and flip on the TiVo, and we would watch some stuff. And it was just many years went by, and I had never popped the question of like, you know, so you're a musician, and like I'm a musician, and like, you're a songwriter, and like, I went to college for songwriting. Like, can we write a song together? And he said, yeah. So that's what we did.
Oh, cool.
And so
it started as The Walls, but then
yeah. So we started as the My Walls chorus was a pre-chorus.
They'll let the walls come down.
That was a pre-chorus.
Okay.
In a minor key, so it was a little bit different.
Oh, okay.
And then there's another one coming up, No Other Name. That was like that's a Matt chorus right there. It's about as good as a chorus can be. And so yeah. And so so it ended up going from, you know, one song to two. And this song we're about to play, No Other Name, is actually my first radio single.
Oh, wow.
So I'm on a handful of Christian radio stations, both regular radio stations and internet radio stations around the country and around the world.
Oh, do you know which ones all of those are?
I do.
Can you get me a list?
I can give you a list, but I don't know them off the top of my head. I can think of
we'll put a list of those right in the comments below this YouTube video. Perfect.
So yes, and just thank you everyone for supporting this, for supporting the story, and just, you know, bringing this prayer song to the world. I never thought that I would, as a slightly more aged person, I would suddenly have a music career, but it's pretty cool.
You'd be surprised. He's actually not that old. He's got the early grays. That's
It's
all.
true.
Aged.
That's right.
Silly. So this one is No Other Name by Dan Francis Bollinger and Matt Maher.
Yes.
Who paints the evening skies before our eyes with love and care? Who sets the ocean's tides, the mountains' heights, and still hears our prayer? No other name, no one but our God. We're shouting out your name for all that you have saved and everything you promised when you opened up the grave. We're carrying your song on lifted hands, oh God. So raise us up to tell of what your love has won for all. Who forms us with his hand into the dust, the breath of life? Who says into our hearts, the darkest parts, let there be light? No other name, no one but our God. We're shouting out your name for all that you have saved and everything you promised when you opened up the grave. We're carrying your song on lifted hands, oh God. So raise us up to tell of what your love has won for all. No other name, no one but our God. No other name, no one but our God. We're shouting out your name for all that you have saved and everything you promised when you opened up the grave. We're carrying your song on lifted hands, oh God. So raise us up to tell of what your love has won for all. No other name, no other name, no other name, no other name.
Nice. So those are the two that you wrote with Matt.
Yes.
Okay, that was great. That it's funny you would say that. That's a Matt chorus, but
Yes.
I didn't necessarily hear that. Maybe I do several of his songs, but I mean,
So there's kind of a so I went to college for songwriting, and one of the things they do, which is actually it's what's good and bad about going to college for songwriting. So the bad part is that you have to basically dismantle songs
Of course,
and
yes.
figure out how it was done, and that's also the good thing. And so you have this annoying tendency to notice common threads between things.
yes,
And just that sort of that tendency tone.
yeah.
The 4-1 right there
Yeah.
is it's a very Mattism. It's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've not really dissected any of his songs. I mean, I obviously when I'm trying to model a certain song after other songs, I'll dissect those songs in that purpose. But I've not actually dissected any of his tunes, so I don't know, I've just never observed it really. That's cool though.
Yeah, so there's a unique rhythmic meter. You hear a lot of the Beatles in there. You hear a lot of Tom Petty in it too. There's a lot of the certain chord progressions, a lot of tendency tones.
Okay, gotcha.
And Matt's also famous for never, ever, ever playing normal guitar chords. It's like the hardest Dave Matthews chord you've ever seen. And so,
Well, he is a
capo and G. That's me.
He was a jazz pianist, so
Yes.
yeah.
So he can still rip it. He can still rip it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I was wondering. I've not ever seen him play piano anymore. But
Yeah.
well, so how long have you guys been playing together? How long has the Dan Francis Band existed?
Well, I know these awesome dudes through my involvement in a couple of different churches here in the Central Valley in Arizona, and I remember I auditioned Enrique to play at a church, and he absolutely blew my mind. And then
Yeah, he sounds great. You all sound great.
it was really interesting because back in those days with the auditions, like the worship leaders would just be ready like birds of prey, and so they would stand there during the audition. And if they wanted somebody, they would swoop on you. And so Enrique played for a few years in another band before I got a chance to work with him. And I think like the first time he ever played to a click track was with me. And this, that, the other thing. So if like, for example, people on the video, if you're watching my head bobbing while the song's over, it's because there's a metronome in my head. So it's an interesting.
It was an interesting setup. So I've got like all these different sends, and everyone's got their own mix in their headphones, and I'm like, oh, I don't even want to go there, but
Right.
I just have like our live mix right here in my speaker, but it's cool though. These guys sound great. It's working out really well.
And then Adam, I met as a friend of a friend. I was looking for a substitute piano player for one of the churches that I serve at, and Adam is a staple at St. Timothy's. And when did you start in music ministry there?
2000.
Okay. Wow. And so
as an organist.
Yeah.
Oh wow, cool.
Actually, it was Tom Booth that introduced me to playing B3.
Sweet. Yeah, very cool. Cool. Well, this sounds good. What's the next tune you guys going to do?
So the next one is called "He Is Love," and I just want to pre-say the funny line. Everyone who listens to this song.
Oh, I love this.
So yes, I play songs on Christian radio around the world. I do that, and in churches and things like that. However, my Massachusetts diction, which you just heard come out right there, I'm from Kingston, Massachusetts. When I sing a particular line in this song, and I'll try to do it without smiling, I'm trying to get my sillies out right now.
Go ahead.
So I composed this very poetic line that says, "Every eye's cold mirror breaks you down. But when you sing it, and you're from the East Coast, and you're singing it at speed, it sounds like when every ice-cold beer breaks you down." So if you're listening to this or to my record, I'll do good diction right now. I was trying to be cool, of course, in the studio and sort of rockish, but
it's a really nice line. Your eyes cold mirror, yeah.
So it's kind of like looking in the gaze of someone and they see nothing in you, kind of like that sort of a thing. You know, where it talks about your broken freedoms being empty, the things that we think we want to do to make ourselves happy that actually leave us worse off than before we made the decision.
But the thing is that ice cold beer breaks you down. That kind of works too.
that is very true. Check, please. Yes, that does actually that does work. So
here we go.
When all your broken freedoms leave you empty, when every ice cold mirror breaks you down, when every hope seems cast upon the shoreline, come rest within a love that calls you now. He is love, He is love. Come find peace that you've been longing for. He is love, He is love. Come let your heart be lifted store. He is love. When flesh was all we wanted to believe it, when our religion was our only Lord, when we were sinners there though undeserving, He chose to take the cross to bring us home. He is love. He is love. Come find the peace that you've been longing for. He is love. He is love. Come let your heart be lifted and restored. He is love. In every broken tree, for everything you need, He is the God who can. He is love. He is love. Come find the peace that you've been longing for. He is love. He is love. Come let your heart be lifted and restored. He is love. He is
That's what I was talking about. That's like the groove in your head that's still going.
Yeah, but I might have screwed that one up at the end. Sorry, folks. But because I was like, whoa, wait a minute. There's extra few measures. Wasn't I following? I thought I was following. Okay. So if I screwed up at the end, that wasn't them. I mean, it was me.
So
but I might be able to take that out.
Can I tell you why it doesn't make sense? And this is
Yeah.
a little bit of behind the scenes studio magic. So, and this
Okay.
is something like let me just give you.
But I was following the chart. I was with
You
it the whole time.
you absolutely were. So the interesting thing about it is that the outro on the song. So if guitar players, if you're analyzing this, or piano players, musicians in general, it's a little bit different. And the reason why it's different is because I played the chord progression wrong on the scratch track, and then all the studio musicians followed me.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
That's
okay.
why that chord progression appears nowhere in the song except at the end, and it's my fault.
Okay.
And we have to go with it.
Yeah. So if it's a little, the end is a little weird. It was the piano. It wasn't that. I don't care. It's my show. I can screw up.
That's right. This is your house.
Cool. So what does 2016 have in store for the Dan Francis Band?
So a lot of different things, kind of work related. I kind of work professionally in churches. Actually, not as a musician. I work a little bit as a musician, but mostly, I kind of work in the office work behind the scenes sort of a thing.
I didn't know that.
So
I thought all you did was play music.
I would like to. So if anyone's listening, I'll send you my resume. No, I'm kidding. So.
You sound so great. I thought that was your full
Do you
time
know what's really really interesting is there was one time like many years ago that I left one job at a church and after that, I'm not even kidding you, I applied to 12 or 13 churches and didn't get a job and then decided to go work at a call center.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's interesting.
That is.
I didn't used to be really fun to work with.
Oh, okay. You used to be kind of a jerk.
Yes, I still am kind
yeah.
of a jerk.
Really?
But it's much less.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's good. He's been nice to me, but maybe just because I'm the host. No, we did a wedding together.
We
You were
did.
super nice.
Yeah. So I mean, that's one of the professional things that I do, and I also love volunteering to serve at church as well. Whether it's playing guitar or drums is another thing that I do as well. And
Oh, cool.
and so a lot of the guitar stuff you'll hear me playing, a lot of those rhythmic stops, especially in No Other Name, a couple songs ago, and really a lot of them it's coming from kind of the sort of my left right hand groove feel as I was writing the drum parts, and so I kind of had the guitar parts sort of move along with that to give it a little bit of just to break the monotony of the 1 4 5 6 pop stuff.
Of course. Yes, the four chords are Make people a lot of money, those 4 chords, right? Well, you know, we're running out of time here. Adam has to go pick someone up from the airport, so we're going to get one more tune in, and our final tune, and what do y'all want to end with?
So this song is just simply called Jesus, and this song was originally something that I actually wrote I wrote it for another artist. I wrote it actually for a female artist who at the time didn't end up signing with the record label that I work for. And so I ended up with this song that was completely written out of my range that I love the chord progression to, that years later I went back and like, that Jesus song is a good song, and I found something that fit. And this song is definitely probably one of the more special. The walls in this, generally we play them close together. And it's always a special moment, whether it's a worship service or it's a concert or just, you know, anything churchy or otherwise. We love this song as a group.
So this Dan Francis band, Jesus.
Fran Dances band. No.
He makes a way where there is no way. He turns the stain of darkness into day. He took our sin and hung up in our place. There's none like him. His name is Jesus. Emmanuel is with us. Jehovah El Shaddai, the answer to our cries. He makes a way where there is no way. He is the cure for our deepest shame. He is our God, come in flesh display. There's none like him. His name is Jesus. Emmanuel is with us. Jehovah El Shaddai, the answer to our cries. His name is Jesus, the Word who lives within us. By stripes we could not own, our God has led us home in Jesus. There is none like you. There is none like you. There is none like you, Jesus. There is none like you. There is none like you. There is none like you, Jesus. There is none like you. There is none like you. There is none like you, Jesus. There is none like you. There is none like you. There is none like you. You're in Jesus.
That was absolutely beautiful. This has been Topkat Studios Sessions. Thanks so much to the Dan Francis Band for being here. And what a fool I am, I forgot to introduce, or have you introduce your band members. Please go ahead and introduce them.
Let me go ahead and do that.
Show.
So, all the way from far off Mesa, Arizona, we have Enrique Mora, and all the way from far off Mesa, Arizona, right? We have Adam Strand.
Adam Strand and Dan Francis, and I'm Rebecca De La Torre. Thanks so much for checking out the show. You can find out a lot more about Dan Francis Band and where they're playing and purchase all of their music in the comments section below this YouTube video. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.